the consistency, we just go with that kind of taxonomy that you had agreed upon, or that you had started using building the system, so that we don't deviate it. If we start a new way of naming the permissions, it can be a bit difficult going forward to even maintain. So that consistency in naming, I think, will continue with what you had been doing. That is my thought, and I had shared the same thought with Steve earlier in the day. So I also noticed, like, because as I was going through this, I'm also going through the system, the front end. So if you look at the suppliers component here, I think it is under chart of accounts.
No, it is under payable.
It's under payables, sorry. If you go to suppliers, I was expecting, if I say maybe new supplier here, I would see maybe a form, a page where I can input the supplier details and create a new supplier record. But what I noticed is it brings a purchase invoice. So I highlighted that, although it was not part of what I was told to look into, but it was I noted that. So I think maybe along the way, any other thing that I may notice, I will highlight, and maybe if you give me permission, we can, and maybe with your guidance, we can add or adjust that. I don't know if this is the correct or what was expected.
I think you see, we were two people working on this system, and actually we didn't collaborate in this section. I think ukienda kwa, what is it? Is it registration? Kuna hiyo suppliers are being created from there. But I feel that we should bring them back
Yeah,
to.
I noticed when I was looking for the routes,
Mm,
like even the vendor,
mm,
you see the routes are organized in such a way that they match with the modules.
eh, eh,
But now I noticed the vendor registration, all the routes for managing the vendor are in administration, and I was like, this looks off, especially because you had that kind of pattern. That now is not following the pattern, or maybe it was done earlier before the accounts module was created. Maybe it will need just to be migrated to the right place. I don't know. That is that.
yeah, yeah. I think we'll have some cleanup so that that is migrated back to the payables.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
because that needs to go back huko. So I think that is good because pia ukiangalia hiyo supply imewekewa trades, sijui updates, is it so? Hiyo router
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
inafanya and actually is not the real case. So it's something here we are supposed to look at. So that one unaweza highlight na uiweke kando so that we can see how to kuona the way forward vile tutafanya. Yeah.
So on some of the nini that I realized didn't have permissions. For example, um, the purchase this payables controller that has got some actions. These permissions were not there, so I decided to include them. Not like, but I just wanted to see if this is the correct thing to do, or so that when I encounter any other that do not have permissions completely in the front end, or front end, the permissions are created, are assigned, but at the back end they are not implemented. So
I
Probably.
think for kama hiyo invoice to pay,
Yes.
I think that you can remove that because it's an internal, how do I call it? It's an internal method, so it is never exposed to this to the user. So hiyo unaweza itoa, yeah. Yeah, hiyo unaweza itoa na don't usiweke hapo because that will affect nini. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so just check routes zenye tu ziko exposed to the user na
Yeah.
uweke zingine dia internal zenye
Mm.
zinasaidia in some of the processes, so there's no need of having them.
Of having them.
Yeah, of putting permissions because they will interfere. You see, it's such a kind of nini nakoliwa na so many things, so si ukiweka hapo now you have some very many issues utakuwa unaenda kwa page unajishangaa which permission sijaweka. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that is good. So hizi ni wewe umeweka, this is good.
Hizi niliweka, but and this is the only one yenye nimeweka. The other one that I noticed also had quite a number of calls, but there were no permissions. Ni receivables, so nimeweka tu comment, nimesema to add permissions, so add so that I can remember where there were no permissions and there is need to add.
Yeah, kama hiyo utaongeza that has no problem, na ukiangalia they are almost similar to hizo the payables. It's one of it that now you change to sijui whatever. Yeah, hiyo utaongeza.
Okay.
I think that is required.
So maybe I don't know, should I just go through all what Steve had given me, then thereafter I can add them, or I can just add as we continue and I highlight, and I think I will do the comments, then maybe after I'm done with them we can go over them together, nikuonyeshe hapa nimeongeza na ilikuwa hii na hii, if they're okay, like you've just highlighted that the pay to the invoice to pay is not necessary.
Yeah, I think what you can do, you can go ahead and implement, so long as you have identified that these are the permissions you need, you can go ahead and implement. Then we can have a meeting where we can review. Like you can say the payables controller didn't have routes.
Yes.
These are the routes that I have assigned and implemented. So utaeleza, and also when you implement something, just highlight it somewhere. You just note it down so that we can go through to wonder what is happening. So I hope kama vile umeweka kwa payables umeweka pia kwa front end, ndio? Kama front end it was there.
Front end hizi zilikuwa.
Okay.
The only one that was not there was hii invoice to pay.
Okay, sawa. I think iko sawa. So na pia kuna vitu zingine, just go to the front end. Kuna pia some sensitive areas that we need to lock down.
Yes.
So ukikuja kama hapo kwa treasury, I don't know kama because somebody implemented that thing. Kama you can check hapo pia, that is a very sensitive section that needs to be locked out totally.
It needs the permissions to be very tight.
Yes, very tight. Yeah, so you just go through. I think this good work. Just go through, alafu you can highlight them. Najua implement is very easy once you understand.
Yeah.
And I see at the end of this exercise utakuwa umejua almost the full finance, what costs what.
Already having gone through the back-end routes the other time, I think I'm getting the hang of it.
So I think this is a very good start. I'm really impressed. So you can continue siku yenye utaona kwamba maybe we can do section by section so that we don't have so many things.
So many things, yeah.
Maybe you can handle accounts, hiyo subsection ya accounts. Ukimaliza yote, then we can review. After that you commit, then tuende treasury. Ukimaliza you commit, tuende deposit and loans, hivyo. I think hapo ndio tutafika. So accounts, treasury, and deposit and loans. So we can handle section by section so that we don't have so many things to review at once.
Okay.
Yeah, so once you are through with the accounts, you can unaweza niambia we review, then you can go to treasury, ufanye hizo vitu zote. Then once it is done, we can also call for a meeting review. Once we do that, when the deposit and loans, na tumalize hivyo. I think now after that,
Martin, unasahau hapo kwa administration there is those settings, deposit settings and loan settings. Those ones also need permission.
yeah, tutakuja hapo. I think for this administration we can have one route yenye inaitwa one permission yenye inaitwa admin user, then everything can be tied huko. Why do we have so many permissions? It's like mtu atakuwa anafanya setup ni watu 10.
Oh, so we need only one person to do the setup.
Yeah, we need one person to do the setup. So one person mwenye atalock out everything. And yeah, one person mwenye atalock out hiyo the admin everything mpaka chini. We don't need thousands of people doing setups. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, it's okay.
Is it maybe in the future, could it be necessary that there could be a number of administrators given different roles or different areas to manage, or it is always going to be one? Because if maybe in the future there could be a chance of several people being administrators, maybe mwingine kazi yake ni kumanage tu mambo ya payments, so they will be able to see payment methods and such stuff. Mwingine ni wa kumanage mambo na finance, so they will be able to do administration even of the finance component. Like, so if that is the case, then being granular about the permissions will help. But if that is not so, then using a blanket permission for all the tasks under administration will suffice.
Yeah, I think we should go granular, because I'm looking at, you see, the moment that you are applying this application to a large organization, then definitely you will have different people managing different things. So we can have one for deposits, one for loans, one for payments, and maybe another one for registration. So you find that the settings for those ones can be managed differently, so that we don't have a situation whereby someone changes the settings for registration, anaregister, anaweka settings za loans, anaweka ya deposits, change. So it for the sake of security of the organization, I think that would be necessary. So if we can just do everything right the first time, then that's the best.
Okay. And also Nani, I was thinking, because unaona kama the admin user akona so many rights, like so many permissions. Ukiangalia hata hiyo token yake, I don't know, they are almost 100 ama nini. So I don't know that also kama inachangia the performance of the application, because when the token is too big, it is an issue.
So what about other users? Are they okay? Like when you log in as a different user, is the system fast?
No. The system is very slow by there. So I don't know, George, you have gone through Vue. What is your take on the system performance?
Already tulishaona iko a bit slow, and I think as we move on, we will try and identify what are the issues that are causing the system to be that slow, both front end and back end. So I think the optimization is something that is going to be, we are going to do in progress. See kitu tunaweza sema, because we need to identify where is the source of the load that is making the whole thing to be that slow. Maybe it is not the whole system. Maybe they are just some components. Like like Nicholas was suggesting something that I think can also help, especially to limit the amount of data that the system is going to transfer between the client and the server. So like the issue of using sockets, I think it is a brilliant idea. The implementation might be a bit tough, but once implemented, that will actually cut down on the traffic to a good extent. So I think it is something that tunaweza brainstorm tuone as time goes, because I'm just starting to interact with the system. So whenever I interact with it, I'll be able to see and highlight probably this is coming from here, and tukiweka tu vichwa zetu pamoja, I think hatutashindwa ku come up with a better solution to optimize the performance of the system.
Let me ask, do you
Yes.
mean WebSockets where like there's an active connection between the application, the front end and the server?
Yes.
Eh?
Yeah, something like that.
That is very problematic because you are taking the load from the front end unaipeleka kwa server, you see? And when you do that, it actually now, why do we have a single page application if we want to do a connection between the server and the front end? There is a framework called Blazor. They have a similar architecture. Maybe I can try to explain it here because it's the same meaning. So with them, vile wanafanya is there are three rendering modes. Kuna server side that during the initial load, the server renders that. Alafu kuna hiyo interactive server yenye what you are proposing your WebSockets. So it uses the WebSockets. Alafu kuna now the browser yenye wanaita WebAssembly, so interactive WebAssembly. So how does these things interact? So you can have your component inawekwa auto mode. So auto mode, it means wakati the initial fetch, the server will render that. Then ikirealize kwamba JavaScript has been downloaded, everything, it renders with WebAssembly. But if it realizes kwamba WebAssembly has not been loaded, bado ina load na inafanya interactive server. So that means inatumia WebSockets.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah, and actually it works very well, and the applications are very good. Eh?
They are efficient.
Yeah. Yes, they are very efficient, they are very fast. Yeah, so that is it. So kama niyo WebSockets, but I've never seen Vue na Laravel WebSockets. I don't know.
No, you see, some of these things we can just figure out how to implement them, because the ability of the browser to communicate with the server through sockets is there. Yeah, so it is just us to put in the logic of how and when to utilize such functionality. Because like for example, mostly we've used WebSockets to just communicate small messages like for notifications and such stuff. Then maybe let's say you are using the system there, I'm using the system here. Then maybe I've made some update to the data. So instead of reloading the entire page, that small component of data that you have updated, it will go to the server, isn't it?
Yes.
The server can broadcast to the users who are already connected, so that they get that update and their interfaces will capture that new change. So for those small ones that I don't need to reload the entire data set to get just that one new update. That is what we were if I got what Nicholas was saying correctly, I think that is what he was mentioning.
Okay, but with me, anyway, when we come to implementation,
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of things we need to consider.
Yeah.
Because you see, if I'm doing an update here, then you are broadcasting from the server. So that means that the server needs an active connection in every client,
Mm.
and that consumes RAM
Yeah, I
and
know.
consumes also the CPU time. So I don't know how that will work out, because if you want to if you want to broadcast a message, then it means for every user connected in this system must have an active connection, right, to the
Yeah.
server.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me hapo kwanza tutafikiria kwanza, but first
No,
thing I think, the
yes.
first things I think is, can we see the current code? Because view normally is very fast.
Yeah.
Laravel is very fast.
Mm.
What are we doing that is not, we are not doing right, Kwanza? Can we check the current architecture? Eh? Is it that there's something we have messed up, so that we can correct it and see if we can improve performance? You see?
Okay.
Yeah, after that, kama hakuna kitu tunajua kwamba we are very correct, then now we can think of other options. But kama hatuja optimize the current architecture, then if tunaanza kuleta another complications, I think for me it's a big no kwanza. Let's try to optimize currently what we have.
Uh,
Yes.
of course, I trust the suggestion is a long term, not to be implemented today, because again, it is not something that is a quick fix. Uh, Probably, like you are saying, it will also push the workload to the server. So it means the infrastructure of our server has to be something that is capable of handling that kind of workload. So it is something for the future to think about, even if it is maybe if it may be necessary. But for now, maybe we can start by looking at the common causes of such kind of behavior. Then, so that means we will need to really look into those common areas, database issues, if it is an issue with indexing, those optimizations, we need to look at them. Even how we pull data from the database. If maybe there are areas that it's necessary to do eager loading and we are not doing that, then we can implement those. Then we can look at the front end if maybe we need to uh, maybe load our JavaScript code in bits, which is possible. I think even Webpack can allow us to do that. So we can explore all those possible options that we might have to optimize both sides of the application.
Yeah. So George, what I can say is, you see, I'm not a very good fan of Vue, but in Angular kuna hizi optimization that are built in place, but I've come to realize kwamba in Vue wanasema kwamba is not opinionated, but I think there is a very now big problem here, because if it was Angular, then such things are automatically there, like the code splitting, where you want to split this in different chunks.
Yeah.
Then the administration is a different chunk, the registration is a different chunk. So that means that when you are loading, ukikuwa kwa registration una load to registration, ukikuwa kwa account una load to account. That is already in Angular. I was using that.
Actually, iko hata kwa Vue. The only thing is that it's not in Vue per se. It's either handled by Vite when you are preparing the application, or Webpack when you are preparing the application. So I think we will do that and test and see if that will change the performance of the application if it is not yet implemented. But I will check. I will do a quick check and tell you if that is implemented.
Okay, so we need code splitting. That is the first part.
Yes.
Kuna pia hii nini the stores hizo our labels view stores. I think here I'm not sure if they were implemented very well. That can be another cause of problems.
Yeah.
There's also the interceptors. I think Nick has put so many interceptions. Like for every calls view, what is being intercepted. That is another problem. There's also, I think, kuna also the code that checks if you are in a certain permission, because these permission are strings and the strings are very slow in comparison. If you are checking something, so we need to check on that also, because when you click on a route, it takes almost 10 seconds for it to navigate, you see. So that can tell you something about hii nini ya kucheck permission, because that is where only the system spends time when it
Yeah.
is checking permission. So we need to check on that also, you see. On the back end also, I realized at one point kwamba Niku was making it in a way that for each call that
Yeah.
you make, lazima iende kwa database to check for the token, which I felt was not right. I think you can check hapo kwa Laravel, so you can debug one call na utapata tu, utaangalia all the intersections zenye zinafanya. Then you realize that for each call lazima to call database to confirm what the token. You see, that is a very big bottleneck in this system. So you need to also check on that.
There is no way that bit can be cached so that it doesn't have to go to the database every time and again.
Yeah, I think there is time I raised that. So sijui kama he cached that. If we didn't, so we need to cache that. So yeah, I think those are the places to start. But mimi unajua kama for a very good developer wa ASP.NET Core na pia Angular, and sahii wakati I'm doing Blazor. So for Laravel sijaweka enough effort huko, yani to understand this Laravel.
Okay.
Yeah. So for you guys unajua Laravel wenye inawapendeza, you can go ahead. Me, I just work there because of this application, nothing else.
Okay. I think I know we'll interact even with Nicholas so that we can see how to better do this.
Yeah. So, but so far so good. I think we are good. So wewe utafanya kama your account, once you are done utaniambia, and I think when you'll be doing that also, jaribu kuangalia the road. Just try to follow down vile tunafanya hiyo checking of the permissions. Yeah, kuna time nili update your logic a little bit, so to see kama it is a bit faster. So we need to check on that also. So I think we fanya tu, once you are done with the accounts, utaitisha mkutano, we can review 30 minutes, then we can go to treasury, we review, then tutamalizia deposit and loans. I think for the administration, we'll need to look also into that. Yeah.
I was almost saying we look at the accounts tomorrow in the evening, but tomorrow in the evening I may not be available at around this time. So Wednesday can be okay.
Okay, Wednesday during the day utaniambia.
During the days.
Yeah.
So I think also, George, if for example you are done with the account na bado una nafasi ya meeting, unaweza endelea tu so that when we meet kama ushaanza the treasury bit.
Okay.
We can look at both, yeah.
Sawa. I think that will be okay. All right.
So see, we call it a day, a night.
It's all right.
Okay.
Steve, you have something?
No, I don't have anything. Have a good night.
Yeah, but also need prioritize optimization, please. There are so many problems I'm facing penye tunafanya kazi, because everybody ananiambia system iko slow. It freezes on mobile phones, so we need actually to do something.
I think because, George, we can have a meeting over the weekend now that we have started the week. But George, from your analysis or from your interaction with the system, unaweza angalia areas of optimization. Then over the weekend we can have a meeting mpaka Nicholas, so that we agree on how to implement whatever the suggestion you shall have picked. Because I believe as you go through the system, utaangalia, utaona like this place needs will be looked at, this person. So let's have those notes, right? Let's write them down. Then over the weekend we can have a meeting and we see which areas to implement the optimization that maybe you shall have recommended.
Okay, fine.
So good night.
Okay.
Okay, good night.